Okay. I don't know how to bring up this other motion, but is the defense still wanting is it Mr. Thompson to testify that he sold cocaine to Bob Jambois in 2006 or 7 or whatever that year was during the trial?
Judge, this is Jeremy Perry for the defense. We don't believe that what Mr. Thompson is saying is true. Okay, we think that this is a lie of Mr. Thompson's. We do think that his lie about this and his claim to say, or his willingness to say whatever he wants to say to try to get him out of whatever situation he's in whatever moment he's in, we think that his lie is relevant in terms of being cross-examining him on that. And this is the state's witness. So he's
I don't care whose witness it is.
Well, well, it's the state's witness, and this is what the state's witness has told us has happened. And so
give me a date that he told you this, the exact date.
Eleven to 2016.
When?
November 2nd, 2016.
That's when he told the investigator about this.
Yes.
And when supposedly did he sell the cocaine to Mr. What year?
Between 2006 and January of 07.
And where did he sell this cocaine to him?
We don't believe he did that, but.
On a roadway in Salem in Kenosha County at nighttime.
All right. I think I could take judicial notice that Mr. Jambois was not the district attorney that year. And my understanding, he was working for the state of Wisconsin in Madison.
That is correct, Your Honor.
The governor had
from October, I started that job October 1st of 2005.
Right.
And moved to Madison with my family.
So you're not in Salem?
No. About 2 hours from where I lived.
You know, credibility of witnesses is always an issue. We impeach them based on prior statements. We ask them about prior convictions, and if they give us the right number, we don't get into the conviction. There's also other issues. Somebody's been convicted of some crimes that deal with truth, fraud. We bring that in. But I'm shocked that the defense would ask for this.
And Judge, just to be clear.
Can I finish?
Oh, sorry, Judge.
I think it's Bush League. I think it's unprofessional. I think it's outrageous. I've been an attorney since 1983. I've been a defense attorney, an assistant corporation counsel, a municipal judge, a court commissioner, a guardian ad litem. I've never seen this. It's garbage. I'm not going to hold this ruling against Mr. Jensen. The record should be clear. But I think on a professional standpoint, it's uncalled for. And to say that it's a lie, what power do you have to tell me somebody's lying now? Do you have some magical power that somebody said something in 2016 about a drug deal in 2006 when Mr. Jambois doesn't even live in that county? Well, one, maybe he's mistaken. And what is the jury going to think? What does this have to do with the guilt or innocence of the defendant? You're going to impeach Mr. Thompson. I think this is the, if I'm correct, because I did try to read everything, is the gentleman that was charged with 2 robberies in Illinois. Am I right?
Bank robberies, yes, Your Honor.
Bank robberies. So, I mean, how much? There's your impeachment. And Mr. Jambois did write a letter to the, I think it was the federal judge.
I wrote a letter to some judge.
Yeah. Well, whatever. But, so we know that he got consideration for 2 bank robberies. I mean, that's pretty good impeachment. And then the prosecution fulfills their obligation. So now the defense wants me to allow this defendant to say, yeah, I sold cocaine to the prosecutor who was trying this case. I mean, if it was on the other foot and the prosecution wanted me to say, hey, one of the defense attorneys bought drugs from one of the witnesses, the defendant would be screaming. And if I allowed that in, I'm sure the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court would say, what did you do, Judge? That is so damaging. No way. It's reckless. It's just not professional. It has nothing to do with this witness. It is so outlandish that it would just confuse the jury. It's not the way to defend the case. But again, the record should be clear. I'm just making a ruling on this motion. The other portion was, I did read that Mr. Thompson said that he sold the drugs for Mr. Brantley because Mr. Brantley couldn't do it or was in Chicago or whatever. There's documentation that Mr. Brantley was in custody at that time. So it's not coming in, and I'm not going to hold it against Mr. Jensen. He has an absolute right to a defense. And his public defenders can defend him with all sorts of other evidence and witnesses, but this is not coming in. There's no probative value here at all. It would confuse the jury to the utmost extremes.